VTubers, chat. I feel so arrogant. This is the hour where the VTubers arise. I think it's Pippa's streaming time as well. Oh shit. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, because now everyone is like, well, why am I watching you, V, then? Why did I decide to watch you when I can watch something of quality instead? Yeah, I can't sleep. And I decided to show you some corpo art as the thumbnail. Fun fact, I actually know people who make the corpo art. They're designed not to be offensive and easily manufacturable. So you can make corpo art on the assembly line. Apparently, there's a program in which you can make them just lift their hands and tilt their heads and do all that stuff. So you don't have to pay much for an artist to do the corpo art. Which is why many people don't like it. Because it's cheap and it shows. I guess I will try to stay awake the entire day tomorrow and then get to sleep during the night. And hopefully that will reset my sleeping schedule. If I'm lucky though, because usually I end up falling asleep. I can't do that. I'm too old. When I was younger, I could stay awake for like 2 or 3 days. So there's a problem when I make streams that I delete them, because there are people who watch the stream from the beginning rather than watch it live. And when I say that, look, I have to remove it due to copyright claims, then people don't hear that, and then they ask me, like, what happened to the previous stream? Yeah, it got a copyright song in it, and I had to take it down. You should try to use your inability to sleep in a productive fashion, like learn a new skill, like the harmonica. So, unfortunately, I do have a wife, and if I were to start playing the harmonica at 4 a.m., it would be very problematic for her. Also, learning new skills that won't make you money is a thing you don't want to do after you get married. Like, before you get married, you want to learn how to play a harmonica in order to impress women, but after that, what's the point? Like, you should learn skills that can actually produce you wealth. So, for example, I would try to learn carpentry. Sounds fun. I would like to learn it. But it's difficult. I don't really have time because I have to make many videos. Check your DMs. I sent you some things. You're living the stereotypical vampire. Depends. I mean, the new stereotype is that vampires are very beautiful. They're very wealthy. And sometimes they can be up during the day. I know what you sent me in the DMs. I'm not going to play them again and get a copyright strike. I just looked at it. But yeah. I have seen them. Just have kids. Oh god, how would that help me with the sleep, Simon? Did you thought about that? Like, before typing on the keyboard, please, like, think a little bit. If I have problems sleeping, and you want me to have kids, wouldn't that be detrimental to the goal that I set up for myself, which is to sleep? Write a comic book. I don't draw. I don't know how to draw. Like, and by the way, this is another thing. Just because there are many comic book writers right now, especially YouTubers, it means that the market is kind of full. So it's not a good idea to get into something which already got the bandwagon rolling. If this was 2018, 2017, yeah, maybe. I also would not be able to afford to pay a comic book artist. I mean, they're very expensive, especially if you want to do comic books. I mean, Jesus, the amount of images required. So no. Hi V, I live in DeSantis land. I'm playing Shogun 2 while the hurricane is ready to top me. Wish me luck. Fun fact, a Democrat lady came out and she said that if you vote Democrat, they will control the weather. Not exactly like that. She didn't say that per se. But I believe it was that logic, that line of thinking, right? Like, vote for us and the weather will be better. Let me see if I can find it. I had to listen to it at least. Sorry about that. Oh. Had to listen to that at least 2 times. Oh fuck. There's going to be there's going to be labor protests at the airplanes in the UK. And I bought a ticket to fly to the UK. I swear to God, there is a international conspiracy against me traveling to other countries, right? So let's recap. First year, I got married, so I couldn't travel anywhere because it's like, well, let's get married first, right? Second year, the pandemic happens. Third year, you had to get QR codes in order to be able to fly. And even if I were to fly, then it's like the restrictions from Britain, which was under tier 76 lockdown or whatever. So third year I wasn't able to. This is the fourth going to the fifth year, right? Like fourth year, my mom got cancer and she passed away, so I wasn't able to fly because I didn't know if she needed my help or anything. Plus, I wanted to be there. And now it's like fourth to the fifth year, and I really want to go because I want to take my wife to a honeymoon, right? We didn't have a proper honeymoon. We had like, we went to Bucharest, but that wasn't, I mean, it was kind of fun, but you know, it was just a weekend. It was like a normal travel. I just want to have a honeymoon. I can't do it. It's just no. Like now, apparently, the labor in the UK is on strike at the airport. Like, Jesus. Sorry about that. Sleep technologist here. What is the issue? I don't feel the sensation required for sleep. Oh, Julie Mora. My God. She's still alive. Julie, why don't you become a VTuber? Hello to Mrs. V. Hope she is sleeping well. Yes, she is. I don't know how, but she is. Listen to the documentaries about space physics or something equally grandiose or esoteric and not relevant to everyday life. I zonk right out when my headphones on in no time. Oh, I would just listen to Sargon if that's the case. I would listen to Sargon talk about philosophy or some nonsense about how he doesn't like free markets or something like that, you know. Yes, I am going to Swindon. My condolences to your mother. Well, thank you, Kangaroo. I appreciate it. I should consult the Sandman. Is that a thing you can do? Do you guys have flavored sunflower seeds? Holy shit! Are those a thing? Okay, so Eastern Europe is renowned for people eating sunflower seeds. Like everywhere you go, you'll find someone like this, like every single place you would go. Granted, in my town, for some fucking reason, that hasn't been the case for years. Like, you go into public transport and it's actually clean. Like, you can say whatever you want about Eastern Europe, but my town is actually clean. But when I was a kid, I would go into public transport, and every single time, with no exception, there would be a person going like, there was like an entire seed of the bodies of the sunflower seed, right? Like everywhere. So no, they're not flavored. I mean, the only thing we got is salty sunflower seeds or normal sunflower seeds, but we don't have flavored. But I guess like being Eastern European, there is something that attracts me to the sunflower seed. I definitely do enjoy them. Insomnia does suck. Did the Nord Stream explosion woke me up? Oh my god, the censorship that's going to happen regarding that explosion is going to be more explosive. Like, this is what I predict. There's going to be social media silence regarding that pipeline. Or will it, though? I mean, you know what? Tim Pool is talking about it. If Tim Pool is talking about it, maybe there won't. I guess I have to play it safe and wait and see about the pipeline. It's a very, very difficult conversation to have. Lithuanians love sunflower seeds. Everyone in Eastern Europe loves sunflower seeds. It's, I don't know, like, which came first, the Eastern European or the sunflower seed? Because one is meant for the other. Will it affect your energy prices? No, because my nation is not mentally challenged to decide that its main energy source of gas is going to come from Russia. All right? Like, my country didn't say, hey, you know what? We need to build like 2 huge pipelines the size of Putin's cock and use that as our main energy source. No, like, Romania did not do that. So the pipeline doesn't really affect Romania. I mean, sure, there is probably going to be a raise in the price because we do import gas a little bit from countries that might now sell to Germany, but we didn't cripple our economy. Well, like we still have people with common sense in office. Dimple wakes up tomorrow and goes, oops, channel gone. I don't know. I mean, it was from Forbes, right? There is a politician, a Polish politician, which jokingly blamed the US. But it was a joke, according to the Polish politician, which immediately posted a correction to his tweet. So, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there were Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, right? The second one didn't got built due to the war, right? Like they started with the sanctions, so they didn't finish it. And the first one, the Russians started, doing repairs on it, and then it's like, oh, we need this piece that's in Canada, and we can't get it because it's in Canada. And the Germans were like, well, we're going to give it to you from Canada. And Russia was like, no, because that would break the sanctions. V got sent to the couch. LOL. Actually, I never had the problem of being sent to the couch, and I think like my wife would take the couch if there was something that upset her. So like if I was snoring, my wife would probably go on the couch. If I was snoring like so bad that she wouldn't be able to sleep. It actually happened twice. Like I was snoring in the middle of the night, and then when I woke up and my wife wasn't there, and when I went downstairs, she was sleeping on the couch. I generally felt bad. I was like, like you could have asked me. I would have gone to the couch. In Canada, we're also sabotaging our pipelines. Oh wow, like join the kumbaya. Like who doesn't sabotage their own energy? Like, are you really a first world nation if you don't sabotage your own energy independence? Like, are you really at that point a first world nation? Like, you need to be able to afford to sabotage your energy independence. I sent a DM on the 17th that is nothing but flavored sunflower seeds. Oh god, I don't want to watch that because then I'll want to buy it. Why do I want sunflower seeds so bad now? Look what you did to me, chat. You brought me to this stage. During the Cold War, the US carried out all kinds of clandestine submarine missions, including tapping a Russian cable on the floor of the Barents Sea. Every single country throughout the world, if it could carry out covert operations, it did. Like, I would not be surprised by this. I wouldn't be shocked. And at the end of the day, let's assume hypothetically that the US does something bad. Germany then does what? Right? Okay, and then what? Remember, I believe it was Obama which was wiretapping Merkel's phone. What? Am I wrong with this? Hold on, let me check because I don't want to spread harmful misinformation. Obama wiretapping Merkel. Oh yeah. There's another article, but this is the one that came out. Trump to Merkel, we were both wiretapped under Obama, right? So like this actually came out. It was a big story that the United States was wiretapping Angela Merkel's phone, which is huge. I mean, right? Like the leader, well, not the de facto leader of the EU at the time, and it's a phone wiretapped. So what could the Germans do? It's like, okay, the US is spying on your politicians, and what you gonna do about it? Like, so what? Yeah, it was Obama. It was the US. Like, from America's perspective. Like, imagine if Germany, like if Angela Merkel was wiretapping Obama, right? Like, let's put it the other way around. Would you, as a US citizen, say, oh, it was Merkel? Or would you say, no, it's the Germans? But again, if the Germans did that to the US, then there would have been consequences. But if the Germans are doing it to you, if the Germans are being done to by the US, like, so? Like, and? Oh, Tumblr is going to allow adult content back into the site? too little, too late, I guess. But it would be a good thing if all the Tumblrs would go back on Tumblr, because the reason Twitter is the shit that it is due to the fact that the Tumblr containment zone went away. This is what Keffels does not understand about the Kiwi farm. Like, that was a containment place. Like, you kept all those people in check. Now they're going to go somewhere else on the internet. My fucking god. I remember when Tumblr... I told this story before, but I remember when Tumblr initially decided to ban porn, and there was like this huge exodus from Tumblr to Twitter. And blue check marks suddenly had their page just infected with lolly porn. Right? Because like the like, they would find the leftists that they enjoyed, right? Because like blue checkmark gravitated towards like the most far left radical opinions. And then that leftist would start posting like porn on their website, on their page. And imagine like the face of the New York Times reporter just waking up, clicking their mouse, clickety-clack, and it's like, boom. The lolly. So they pressured Twitter's Trusted Safety Council to ban lolly porn on Twitter, which was allowed for quite a while. I mean, it was allowed, I believe, since the inception of Twitter all the way to when Tumblr fell. Like, look at the timeline. It's not a coincidence that shortly after Tumblr got deplatformed, you had Twitter changing its TOS. God, fucking that. But again, like, up until that point, it wasn't a problem. Until it started upsetting the blue checkmarks. Like, when it started upsetting the blue checkmarks, oh, okay, well, it's a problem we need to change. This is problematic. But until then, it wasn't. It was like, oh, well. And it's not the only time when the blue checkmarks got to decide the trusted safety of Twitter. Like, there was another issue where Learn to Code was trending, and then the blue checkmarks got upset that the Learn to Code was de facto banned. Like, if you told a journalist to learn to code, you would get banned from Twitter. It's so fucking obvious, right? Like, the blue checkmarks are the actual clients of the platform. You are the product. But officer, that lolly is 900,000 years old. Speaking of the lolly, there was the funniest stuff that I heard was with Cyberpunk. I still haven't seen Cyberpunk. I know it's good, but I'm saving it for when I don't have anything else to do. Oh shit, maybe I can download a couple of Cyberpunk episodes on my phone, and then I can watch them on the airplane. But I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can download the actual Netflix movies on your phone. Shit. Still, there's this Rebecca. Now, people say she's a lolly. I don't know why, because first of all, she doesn't look like one. The voice actress, like, I saw a couple of skits with her. Like, the voice actress is mature. Apparently, she's mature in the movie as well. I guess, like, she's short stature, but, like, dude, I know women that are short in real life. Like, I mean, I know women that are my age, and their head just reaches my chest, and I'm not that big of a guy. So, yeah, I don't think she is, right? But like, it's so funny because on the Cyberpunk fanbase Reddit, people posted art of her, and they got banned. She doesn't act or sound like a lolly. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I would show a video of her again for the people who haven't watched Cyberpunk, but I don't want to get another copyright claim and have to end the stream. You can in the Netflix app. You can download the movie on your phone on the Netflix app. That would be so fucking cool. No one is short in real life. It's a psyop. Man, like, there are women that are so short. Like, I just don't know how difficult life is for them. Because, like, everything is built to, like, the size of people like myself, which, again, like, I'm not too tall, I'm not too short, I would consider myself to be average. So if you have a woman that's half a size as me, like, imagine how difficult it must be for her to reach places in the kitchen, to reach the shelves, and like, if you go to a woman's house that's very short, She usually have stools everywhere. Like in every single room, there's a stool. So she has to go on the stool, like going, yeah. It is funny though. You can bully your wife like that. You can put things like, let's say you have some cookies that you don't want your wife to eat, right? So you put them really high on the top shelf, and then when she tries to get them, you can just check her ass, and she goes like, Your sleeping problem is due to your hair. Get a haircut. Dude, I just got a haircut 2 weeks ago. Cyberpunk 2077 has excellent side missions. I haven't played Cyberpunk 2077. I played it in the beginning. I got to, I think like after the tutorial, and then I played a little bit and I was like, meh, I don't like it. Allegedly they improved the game. Like allegedly more and more people are joining. Funny enough, from what I can gather, Cyberpunk got fucked by a Romanian company. So they commissioned the company from Cluj, which is a Romanian town, and they fucked them really hard. They should get sued. I hope they get sued. But basically, they did a lot of illegal stuff. Like they asked money from CD Projekt Red, saying that they're making their workers crunch more hours, but in reality, they didn't even have any workers on the project, so the manager pocketed the money. Like a lot of corruption and a lot of wasted potential there. Allegedly, of course. But I hope they get sued. I hope if that's the case, they get sued, and they should definitely be disbanded as a company, because it's not a good thing what they did. Your sleeping problem is due to you always sleeping on the couch for teasing your wife. I don't understand, like, the couch joke. Is that an American thing where like, someone needs to sleep on a couch? Like, if that was a problem, I would just buy another bed in the house. Not to mention, like, sleeping on the couch, from what I understand, is usually, like, mid-game marriage, right? Like, I'm still early game marriage. I'm still in the early game. But mid to late game is where the couch comes in. And again, I still don't understand, like, why exactly is that the man should be on the couch? Is that a thing that you saw in TV shows? Is that how it got normalized? You saw it in telenovelas? Because in reality, like, the woman can sleep on the couch just as well. It really depends on the argument. Like, if I'm snoring, yeah, sure, I'll go sleep on the couch. If she's snoring, then she gets to sleep on the couch. It depends on the point of view. I don't understand, like, this way that Americans keep talking about how they interact with their women, especially if you look at American culture. Like, no wonder your divorces are so high. Like, every single man seems to be like a pushover. Oh, don't have an argument with your wife. I'm like, if your wife says something, you need to do it. I'm like, if she, no, like, you need to have reason. Like, if she has a point, then you do it. If she doesn't have a point, then you don't do it. Are you telling me Romanians ruin everything? No, I'm telling you Romanians ruin Cyberpunk. It's a real thing in America. Oh my god, I pitied them. They used to put the women on the couch. Women are smaller, would fit better on the couch. Really depends. I mean, I guess it depends on the couch you have. To be honest, I did manage to get a really nice couch, because I got a good couch, considering that if there's a guest coming to my house and they want to sleep, then they should have a comfortable couch. So it's not that big of a deal. I mean, she may even like the couch. I sleep on a chair. Jesus fucking... See, now that is fucking hardcore. Sleeping on a chair. I don't think I could do it. But it would probably... It would probably be a lot better than sleeping on the ground. No, I think... So, sleeping on the chair or sleeping on the ground, that's the actual question. You know, the best thing to do, like, if you have guests, because I realized this after after sleeping at someone's place, and they had this really bad couch which turned into a bed, but it was hard as a rock. So instead of buying a couch or buying an extra bed, just buy a mattress and you put the mattress on the ground, and I swear to you, it's just as good as a bed. Like if it's a quality mattress. In fact, you don't even need a fucking bed. This is also good if you move into a new place, right? So you moved into a new place. You don't have the money to buy furniture yet. You don't have to buy the bed. You can buy the bed as the last piece of furniture, right? Like first buy the kitchen appliance, buy the thing that you genuinely need, like the table. But the bed, you don't really need it. What you do need is a good mattress. And you put it on the ground, and you can sleep on the ground, on the mattress. You will find very little difference than when you're on a bed. Now, eventually, you can upgrade to the bed. Most men do. Oh, shit. Now I did extra buyer's remorse today. Holy shit, Zenothio. I hope you still have money left. I almost slept at the university classes once. I never managed to sleep at class, ever. But I do know other people who have successfully performed sleepage during class. I don't know how it's possible. But at the University of Medicine, like, there were many students that genuinely slept during class. And I think, like, the shame is what kept me awake. Like, I would have been so fucking embarrassed. Even if the teacher didn't do anything, but like even if the teacher would just see me, I would be incredibly embarrassed. Am I going to play Wrath of the Lich King? That is the expansion that destroyed World of Warcraft. I would never touch it with a 10-foot pole. Oh, you refereed a match this weekend. Ah, I see. I haven't left my house, Simon. I haven't left my house in ages, so no, I haven't been camping. I don't even understand the joy of camping, though. Like, it's not one of the activities that I like to do. Maybe when I was younger. But, like, the whole idea that you can be in a tent and a bear can come in, for some reason, freaks me out. You sleep during horror movies. Horror movies are also interesting. When I was a kid, I was legitimately afraid of them. Now I'm playing Tormented Souls like this. Like, I really don't get any sort of feeling out of horror games. I haven't played a game that scared me. I guess there is an exception. If I play horror games in VR. So if I play VR games, yeah, they can be kind of scary. But if I play a computer game or if I watch a horror movie, I'm like, Although, to be honest, they don't really make good horror movies either, so I wouldn't be able to tell. No, Outlast is shit. Outlast is not good horror because I know if I die, I will be resurrected just 30 seconds before that person killed me. So Outlast isn't a good horror game. I'm sorry. You're wrong. You need to understand that you're wrong, and it's fine to admit that every now and then you make mistakes. There is a movie that I want to see. I don't know the name of it. But apparently it's about this kid which gets kidnapped. And it's a serial killer. So the kid gets to be locked up in a room. And in that room he sees the ghosts of the previous victims that the serial killer killed before him. And the other victims, they start training the kid how to fight. They tell him about what they did to try and escape, and they're trying to help him formulate a plan and stuff. So I saw the trailer for that. I forgot the name of it, but hopefully I'll remember, because I really want to see that movie. Was at a tournament yelling at a bunch of high school girls and telling them when they did bad things. Oh. Zanothio. Is it called Black Phone? Let me check. I saw the trailer for it. I didn't see the actual thing. Black Phone is a show about a clever 13-year-old boy who is held in a soundproof basement by a sadistic mass killer. When a disconnected... Yes, this is the phone. Black Phone, yes. I fully recommend people watch Black Phone. Especially now that the chat tells me it's good. Oh my god. No, YouTube Bake Hunt. I will not speak Romanian. Now... Why is it that every time someone sees a foreigner, like, hey, can you speak in your foreign language? It's so uncomfortable. But I've been watching anime that pisses me off. Overlord. I swear to God, Ein's own goal is a Gary stew. Like, there is absolutely nothing that he has to face. Everything he wants to do, he accomplishes. And he is an asshole. He's a fucking ass. All of them are assholes. It's like the assholes, the anime. And it gets me annoyed. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should stop watching things that make me annoyed. You know what? I got this stuff. Hold on, there's a Moldovan de peste prut in my chat, which is now probably very satisfied. I finally spoke Romanian. Like, well, what is this other thing? You finally see a Romanian. Let's make him speak Romanian. Why? You can go out and hear other Romanians speak Romanian. I guess I was raised by my grandparents that it's very rude to speak Romanian. Well, to speak a foreign language next to foreigners. Anyway, right, lower the temperature in order to sleep. Your body temperature changes as you sleep. Your body cools down. If your room is too warm, you might have a hard time falling asleep. Get the fuck up. Dude, if that's the case, I should be able to sleep like a rock during winter. Use the 478 breathing method. Powerful breathing method that promotes calmness. First, place the tip of your tongue behind your upper front teeth. Exhale completely through the mouth and make a whoosh sound. Close your mouth and inhale your... Okay, I'm bored. Get on a schedule. Your body has its own regulatory system called the circadian rhythm. Ooh. This internal clock cues your body to feel alert during the day but sleep during the night. Waking up and going to bed at the same times each day. Yeah, but like... You know, I understand this, but sometimes maybe a pipeline blows up and it's interesting and you're like, okay, well, I need to stay up to see the news. Like, what happened? Who blew it up? Why did it blow? Oh my god, it's sabotage, they claim. Well, who sabotaged it? You know, like, sabotage doesn't just happen. Someone does it, and then it keeps you up and you can't go to sleep. 67 degrees, oh god. I will not read the book, leave me alone. I finished med school and law school. I read way too many books. I read more books than probably most people read in their lifetime. I will not touch another book, even if you pay me. I do lie, though. I would probably read Game of Thrones. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I know Game of Thrones isn't going to come out. There is no fucking way R.R. Martin is going to finish writing that book. Like, will he even be R.R. Martin if he finishes writing it? Think about it. I mean, what exactly is he going to do if he finally writes it? Like, what is he going to talk about, right? Because, like, his whole existence is people asking him if he's going to finish writing it, and he says no. So, like, the moment he writes it, people will stop asking. No one will care about him. I do understand him, though. Like, what the show did really fucked over his work. Like, that book is his magnum opus. It's his life work. And the show not only did a very bad job in the later seasons, and they fucked with his work, but also gave away all the plot lines and all the spoilers. Yeah, that would probably put me to sleep, Basil. That would definitely work. But the question is, like, what would I do tomorrow night and the night after? And if I keep taking it, eventually you become immune to it. And you need a bigger dose. Write a book. You know what? I should write some Lotus Eaters articles. That's what I should do. Unde a plecat românul? Huh? I spoke Romanian for the Romanian that asked me, and then he left. Now this is sad. This is very sad. YouTube account. You know what? I'm going to give him a wrench. Romanians stick together. There we go. Forza Romania. Just like the Italians found their force. Exercise before... Zenith, why do you want to kill me? I do have a nice microphone, yes. Is your insomnia chronic? No, I think it's work related. I think it's due to the fact that I speak with a lot of Americans and I got a lot of Americans friends. I don't play video games with them. Honestly, there's not that many video games to play with people now. I mean, most of the games Arch Warhammer plays are LGBT games, which are great and all, but they don't really attract me. They don't do anything for me, you know. I don't game that way. Europa Universalis. The fuck? Europa Hearts of Iron. And then he plays some games that I don't even know what their names are. I mean, let's see, what else does Arch play? Holy shit. Barotrauma. Project Zomboid. Oh my fucking god. Like, dude. I mean, just no. Like, no, just look, a game is to have a story. Alright? Like, it's got a story. And it has a beginning and an end. And then there are different types of games where it's me versus you. Alright? Like my skill versus your skill. And they should be over in less than 30 minutes. A match. I'm not going to play Europa Universalis. And how long does it take? A week. Oh my fucking god. Get some life. Holy shit. And everyone that I know plays shit. It's like Sargon of Akkad. Ark. Survivor Evolved. What? Like, how long does that take? Forever. I mean, come on. Maybe I can play Overwatch with Pipa. Dude, I gave Pipa the the beta access for Overwatch too. She hated it. And I don't want to play Overwatch either. Like, first of all, Pipa is toxic as fuck, okay? I'm not playing Overwatch with her. She spurgs out. Secondly, it's not a game that I'm interested. I mean, do you know? Let me show you. No, seriously. This should be a video for tomorrow. But just to give you a sneak peek on what I'm going to do tomorrow. So Blizzard, in their infinite wisdom, they have some balls the size of baseball. So they have some balls the size of basketballs. I mean, listen to this, okay? So if you get Overwatch 2, you have to buy the heroes from Overwatch 1. Right? Like, you gotta buy all the heroes again. Wow! Oh my fucking god! Oh, and then no, listen, chat. All right, Overwatch 2. Okay, this is the best sell. You gotta type in your phone number to link it to your account, so that Blizzard can curb down on toxicity. I'm not kidding. Like, this is no. Like, listen to me. All right. Like, yeah. Like, just no. Like, someone at Blizzard thought, you know what's a good idea? Let's get our customers to link in their real phone numbers account, so they can make an. I'm just. Holy shit! Really? Blizzard! Oh my god! You know, like. At this point, I would assume it's active sabotage. Like, if I was a game developer at Blizzard, and I was told, you know, the marketing team thought that this is a great idea, I'm like, who hates me? So, Blizzard Overwatch 2 phone number. Let me hold on. Look at this. Alright? Overwatch 2 has a very unusual requirement for players. It will have new requirements to all users. A phone number. According to a new blog post at Blizzard, all players will be required to connect a phone number to their Battle.net account to play the game. And the same number cannot be used for multiple accounts. The idea is that having a connected phone number will make it harder for accounts to be compromised, of course, while making it harder for bad actors to circumvent a suspension by creating a second or a third account. How about you fuck off, Blizzard? How about that? I mean, holy shit, like, the balls. You know, I would understand if this was old Blizzard, right? Like, when they made games that were must play, when they made games like so fucking popular that, you know, people were addicted to them like heroin, and they would be like, well, you know, it's World of Warcraft, like, I gotta play, I can't control myself. can't show. I need to buy the new game. But after all the controversies and all the shit they did, so let me get this straight. For an edgy joke, they stopped production of the game. But when people will complain, it's about, dude, like, you want us to use our phone? Like, really? Well, to be honest, it's going to be up to the gamers. Like, if they buy Overwatch 2, then yes, other companies will require you to have your phone account. What's next? Pledging your firstborn? Well, you already do that to the public schools. I mean, the public schools own your firstborn. You thought you owned it? No. It would be fun to get as many phone numbers banned as possible. Yeah, like, I mean, this is also, depending on which country you are in. So in some European countries, they actually ask ID when you make a phone number. So they will be like, oh, man, you need to show me ID. So you can't have burner accounts. Because the government needs to know. I mean, well, how can the government issue safety if it doesn't spy on its populace? But in other nations, like in Romania, no, you can just have a phone number, whatever you want. Like, I can just buy a burner phone and make an account on Blizzard. Who the fuck cares? And the whole thing, like, props to Blizzard. Banning people was profitable, because the whole idea is like, okay, you got banned from Overwatch, right? Because you said edgy words. Okay, well, you start another account, so you buy the game again. You pay the price again. But Blizzard goes like, no. Remember when games were made as labors of love rather than profit? Well, I think they were both, right? Like, people would make a good game that they love to play, and they'll say, well, surely people will buy it because it's a great game. So it was both. They put you on a register, tracking cell phone. Like, that's another dumb shit. Okay, let's say a 15-year-old kid says the N-word on Blizzard, right? That, like, just like the throne of Allah quakes in certain instances, so does the corporation of Blizzard. Like, someone said the N-word. Like, America implodes. I mean, that word has the power to destroy liberals. Now, the question. They find out who did it, right? Like, they track him down. It's like this 15-year-old kid. And then what? What are you going to do? Are you going to get him fired? He doesn't have a job. Right? It's not illegal, right? It's not against the law. Are you going to send some Blizzard thugs to rough him up? Like, what are you going to do? Oh, God. Yeah, exactly. What if it's a black person? And don't tell me it's like, oh, well, we can find out by the inflection in the voice. What if he has, like, can you imagine, like, the level of racismus? It's like, oh, I'm sorry. We didn't know you were black. Like, when we listened to the recording, they actually did this. Hold on a little bit. The press actually did this. It was, I think, a black Republican. And the press was like, well, yeah, but when he said the word, he said it with a hard R rather than the way it's pronounced by African Americans with a soft A. And they started analyzing and shit. I think, like, this is what people at Blizzard will do. Didn't Blizzard have the Cosby suit? Yes. But didn't Cosby got declared innocent? So, I'm just saying. What if it's like a Rittenhouse or Sandman type kid? I don't know, man. I don't know. Wasn't Blizzard Rape Central Gaming? The thing is, like, I don't think Blizzard is Rape Central Gaming, because I spoke with Blizzard developers and I know what happened there. But they hired so many leftists. Like, look, when you hire a person that finishes a degree in studies, right? Like, whatever fucking women's studies, black studies, gender studies, queer studies. When you hire a studies, you're hiring a lawsuit. That's what you're doing. Like, these people are trained. Like, imagine this, right? Like, let me explain to you what I mean by trained. Imagine if you grow up in a insanely religious community. And in that community, everyone tells you that stealing is the worst crime, right? So, like, they have this offshot, cultish part of Christianity, right? So not mainstream Christianity. No, like, just an offshot, bizarre denomination. And they would consider that stealing is the worst thing you can do, right? Like, every time someone steals, it's the work of the devil, and we need to oust thieves from society. So like they would constantly just say this over and over, and they would say, like how many times didn't you want to steal? Because you can even just by thinking about stealing is a crime. Like if you want to take someone else's paper or a pencil, or you find some a coin on the ground, that's stealing, and just by thinking about it, you're a sinner and you will burn in hell or whatever, right? Now, if you have a person that's trained like that, imagine like in a normal circumstance, in a normal life scenario, like if you're at work and you really need a piece of paper and you're looking around, you don't have one, and next to you there's the desk of the colleague and you borrow a piece of paper, right? It has no value. Like, you're going to give him one back. Like, you wouldn't even ask, right? But if the person is trained into this idea that, well, like, stealing is the worst thing, and, oh my God, he stole the piece of paper. Holy shit, they go to HR, they kick up a big fuss, their entire religious community gets in front of the company, right? It's the same thing when you have people that are just being taught that they live in a rape culture and everything, and there's like even jokes. Like if a person makes a joke, no, they're encouraging the rape culture and they're fueling in it and blah blah blah. So when you're with that mindset and you finally get someone that makes a joke, oh my God, and the offensive tweets, and then you go to HR and right, like that's the same thing. Like, why would you hire these people? The picture behind me is neither from Bloodborne nor Castlevania. And your comments are not being deleted. Yeah, like if you're trained to find racismos. Like, also, I talked about with some leftists today, and I was pointing to them, like, people are fed up of the censorship online, and, it's getting ridiculous that even Jordan Peterson is getting censored. I mean, and you're shocked that people are voting right-wing. Well, yeah, because they're sick and tired of this culture. You normalize censorship, so now they're going to vote for a politician that will censor the censors. And they were like, oh, so you think that just because you can't say the N-word online, then that means that Melanie Chan in Italy should get elected. And I'm like, you know what, motherfucker? Like, if we get to the point where the bar is set at the N-word, I can live with that, right? Like, if just the N-word is the only thing that gets banned from the internet, that is something that I can live with. Such disingenuous people. You can't even have a normal conversation. Yeah, like Jordan Peterson said the N-word, did he? Jordan Peterson is the person that used to speak in such a way that nothing, like he would go through 6 hours live streams and not say anything politically incorrect. Russell Brand got his video taken down. I'm surprised it took this long. I mean, Russell Brand, he spoke during the pandemic. Holy shit, like, he wouldn't stop talking about it. I was like, dude, when are you going to get in trouble for it? What video did he get banned for? And yes, I do have a Rumble. What video did Russell Brand got taken down for? Oh my God, the bots. How many times did I not ban this fucking bot? Stop sending them to me. What is the N-word? It's power word nagash. I like to see the censors canceled. Well, everyone would. I heard a really good analogy regarding the canceling the cancelers, right? Imagine that you're a doctor and you want to save life, and there's a plague, and in order to save life, you have to experiment on mice, right? Like you have to inject the mice with the plague and find out which treatment works. And then you have like this animal activist coming to you and being like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're a doctor. You want to preserve life, and yet you're killing life. That is not an argument that would hold, right? Like, any person would tell, like, dude, are you a moron? Are you a moron? Like, what do you mean? Like, of course the doctor wants to preserve life, but in order to save millions of people, he has to experiment the treatment first, and the only way he can do that is to use mice. So yes, like, sometimes, I mean, it doesn't go against the values of the doctor having to experiment on mice in order to save life. I guess like even a better example would be if you have a person in a town, in a community, which is a burglar, and he's got this minivan, and he's driving around town, breaking into people's houses and stealing stuff. Now, people can't do anything against him because he's connected to the mafia. So if you call the cops on him, the cops don't respond. If you call if you try to beat him up, then the mafia comes to your door and they break your kneecaps, right? Like you have this situation where this guy with impunity can go from house to house and steal shit. Now, one day, he's the one that doesn't pay his protection money to the mafia, so the mafia steals his car, right? And he goes into the middle of community and goes like, "Well, my car got stolen, guys, help!" And you're like, "Dude, aren't you the guy that runs around and steals stuff from us?" "Yeah, but you guys don't like stealing, right? Like, you guys always complain that you don't like it when people steal from you. I got something stolen from me. Why aren't you helping?" Right? This is literally the same. How a person that always advocates for censorship constantly, without exception, they go like censorship, 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 and then they get censored. And they're like, where are the free speech warriors? Where are the free speech warriors? Because no one is helping me. Oh, my free speech. It's kind of like, there is a arsonist which sets fire to a building, and then the building goes to another building and another building, and then the fire department comes, and the arsonist is like, "Can you put down my fire first? Can you put down my fire? Like, because my house is burning. Can you put out my house first?" It's like, wait your turn. Train cab ride. Oh, there are some really nice videos with trains going through the mountains and snow and stuff. That's exactly what the left is today. I know. And the environmentalists are even funnier. Like, there is this article on the New York Times which says that if you complain about the energy prices, you're with Putin. So I'm thinking like, okay, imagine the following scenario. The castle is under siege by enemy forces. And the people within the castle are starving because the enemy forces have cut the food supplies that are going to the castle. Now, one day, someone finds in the castle a room that is filled with food. Like a big larder, and there's sausages, and there's potatoes, and it's just like filled with food. So the priest comes up and he burns the food because he says, gluttony is a sin. And we don't tolerate sinners in our castle, because if we sin, then the Lord will punish us. And if you complain about what the priest did, and you say, like, what the fuck, the priest is insane, dude, like, we don't have food, they will say, oh, no, you're with the enemy. Like, clearly you're with the enemy because you're attacking the priest. That is what Belgium did when they shut down their nuclear reactors. So the environmentalists, during an energy crisis, are shutting down the nation's reactors. And if you complain about that, according to the New York Times, you're with Putin. It's so fucking bewildering when you're looking at it. It's so bizarre. Like, how does it make sense? Because there are people out there, voters, unfortunately, who are looking at this and they're like, yeah, this makes perfect sense. This is legit. Mutiny time. Oh, well. No, but like, I think my allegory is spot on. I think my allegory is spot on. The fact that environmentalists in Europe aren't treated exactly the same like racists are treated is bizarre to me. It's just fucking bewildering. But maybe after the year, when people get to see their energy bills and how much they paid for gas, maybe then people can go, well, hold on a little bit. Right? Like, maybe I need to feed my family. Maybe I don't want another winter like the previous one. Granted, I just hope for a cold, harsh winter. That's what I hope now, so that people realize, Like sometimes people require a little bit of a push, you know, like they need to stop being cuddled a little bit. So maybe just one cold, harsh winter. Then people will start voting a little bit smarter, I would say. Talk about something happy. Dude, if you want to talk something happy, you go to someone that's fucking depressed. I swear to God, people who are depressed are they talk about the happiest things. If you look at communism, for example, it brought so much misery to the Soviet Union. But at the same time, the artists there and the comedians, they made great jokes and the art was amazing. So if I wanna look at something that makes me happy, it's someone that's incredibly depressed and suffering from anxiety and a lot of other issues.
Oh my god.
Look at this, 885 people watching. I'm so fucking proud of her. Like when I found her, when she was a little bunny that no one knew about, she had like 100 people watching. She could actually read the names of the chat. And now she's 885. I recommended her on This Week in Stupid. And she got 1,000 subscribers then. And then I told her, it's like, hey, you know, I saw your shorts. And they're really great. Why don't you make video format? Just make small video format. Because the algorithm is going to push that really hard. And when she started making videos, she exploded. Like she got, I think in one day she got 3,000 subs a day. Like she really managed to push her channel up with the videos that she's making. Because she's making really good video content.
Alright? You make limited housing and you make it expensive. And then people view it as like a luxury to live in your town.
No, you should put the houses in the Martha's Vineyard place. And that would make people very upset to live in Martha's Vineyard.
They're poor, Pippa? That's okay. That's not my problem. That's not my problem.
They should be streaming. With 900
Right?
people watching.
Or should we charge out the ass on this? Oh, let's charge out the ass on this. And let's take out a loan? Maybe? Oh.
Yeah, you know, taking out loans is really great when you're in the government. Because you don't have to personally pay them back. Like, this is what I love about politicians being able to take out loans. Because if you take out the loan for your company or for your pleasure, right? Like, you want to go on a trip. By the way, the dumbest thing that I have seen people do, like, literally, the worst thing that someone can do is to take out a loan to go on a vacation or something. Like, you should only take a loan if it's for something urgent, like your washing machine broke and you have no money. Like, okay, fine, I understand that. But either than that, you should take a loan if it's something that you can get money back from, or if it's for buying a house or starting a business, right? You should never like take a loan for, oh, I just want to go on vacation. But anyway, besides that, we were talking about politicians making loans, right? So if I make a loan, I have to pay it back. If I can't pay it back, then my business goes bankrupt. The government gets to chase me with the IRS agents that now have weapons of war, according to CNN. But if a politician makes a loan, you have to pay it back. And if the politician, you know, just steps down, or even if he's still in power, he doesn't give a shit. In fact, I would say that if the politician steps down and there's another person in his place, when the loan is due, then that politician gets to drop in the ratings. Because most people don't make the fucking connection, right? Like, what ends up happening is, like, let's say, I campaign on giving people free shit. So I will give you guys, if you vote for me, I will build a new park. Or no, you know what? I will give you COVID relief. You know, like $2,000 per person. People vote for me. I loan the money, and then I give you money, right? Now, when I step down, you vote for someone else. You vote for my opposition. When my opponent gets into power, he now has to pay the debt. Now, when he has to pay the debt, he's like, oh shit, well, we need more taxes. We need to get the money from somewhere. So he increases taxes, or he lowers spending. He lowers the education. He lowers the money for police or whatever. Now people hate him. The fuck did he do? Like, all he did is that he's paying the debt of the previous politician. It's so fucked up. By the time these pounds, I reckon it will be above 1.7 to the dollar. It's a phase at all. Coffee hills with sleep. The British pound held really well. I just went and exchanged a couple due to going to London. I believe on the 4th. Yeah, on the 4th we're going to London with my wife. The British pound held really well despite of all of the economic hurdles. Rockabye baby on the treetop. Build a gazebo. At 4 a.m. during the winter? No. Campaigning. A lawyer, a doctor, a YouTuber, and now a president. Oh my god, I would be the worst president ever. Have you seen the Davy Crockett video called Not Yours to Give? No, I haven't, but if it's about what I spoke, then Mr. Davy is a very smart fellow. Only fools pay out the debts is a very popular sentiment about politicians. It's not just that, but Romania is the only country in the world that paid its debt to the IMF. My wife misses me in bed. My wife is fast asleep, Athena. My wife has been sleeping for several hours now. I don't think she misses me in bed. If anything, she would probably be grouchy because I would be waking her up. I'm not a Marxist, but I'm reading a book by a Marxist called Why Marx Was Right by Terry Eagleton. He has some good points. Marx was right in a lot of places. The solutions that he gave were cancerous. You know, it's like looking at a person and saying, oh, you got a little scratch on your foot. Yeah, it's going to get infected. Let's amputate. That's the problem with Marx. It's not that he was an imbecile, because he wasn't. I wouldn't even say he was a con man, because he wouldn't know his policies, how they would take effect, right? Like, take into account that Marx lived in a different time than you and I. When Marx was alive, people would work in factories 16 hours a day. Child labor was a thing. There was no workers' rights. So, no, like, Marx did have some points, and he did notice many things. However, he was wrong with the solution. I mean, the whole fucking theory of labor is fucked. The concept that, well, all work has value. No, it doesn't. Like, for example, you can take a very expensive steak, right? Like, let's say a $200 steak or whatever. And you take that steak and you put meat to cook it. I can burn it, chat. I can burn the steak. Now, that doesn't mean that I didn't work to cook it, right? Like, that doesn't mean that I didn't go to the kitchen, cut the steak, spend time, you know, looking at it. Like, that is labor. But my labor literally degraded the product. Now, you can take someone like Chef Gordon Ramsay, a professional chef, and you can give him some basic ingredients from the farmer's market, so you don't have to spend money on something like a $200 steak. But you give him some cheap ingredients, and he can make you a dish that you can sell for $50, right? And he can probably work even less than I did. So no, like the idea that all work has... No, absolutely not. You're saying Jesus wasn't a Christian and Marx wasn't a Marxist. I don't understand why would I be saying... Oh, I get the joke. But this other dumb shit that Americans come up with, that Jesus was a socialist, really enrages me when I hear it, because it shows they didn't understand the fucking Bible. Like, I can imagine Jesus giving a sermon saying that you need to be kind to your neighbor and you need to feed the poor and all of that, right? And then you have a Marxist saying, so what you're saying is that we should we should pay taxes to the Romans so that the Romans feed the poor and take care of our neighbors. And it's like, no. No, that's not what Jesus was saying. Where did he lost you? Where did he lose you? So what you're saying is that we should pay taxes to the Romans, and then the Romans get to feed the poor on our behalf. And then we go to heaven, right? The more taxes we give, the faster we get to heaven. He was a socialist when it came to bread and fish. Listen, man. If you have the ability to mass produce bread and fish while investing $0 in it, yeah, I would probably advocate for socialism too. Well, he was mad at the vendors in the temple because they were subverting what the temple was supposed to be, right? Like the temple is supposed to be a place where you go and pray. It's not a place where you go to shop. So that's why he was upset about it. It's literally the only time where I don't know how I wonder if Athena Bambina is in the chat. I don't know how the Christians explain it, but they say Jesus is free of sin, right? But like that, like he did seem to commit the sin of wrath there. I mean, he has whipped those merchants so hard that it would have been a TOS violation on Patreon. Like Jesus would have gotten demonetized for what he did in the temple. He whipped Jewish people. Like that's a hate crime, Jesus. But yeah, no, like the whole thing with the merchants is not that he was upset against people buying and selling stuff. He was upset about people doing it in the temple. Like he was upset about the subversion of Christianity. Does the troll have lower? I imagine that the troll was a good person who fell on hard times. Living under a bridge was the only choice he had. No, like living under a bridge is a good business. You get to charge people who cross the bridge. Righteous justice isn't wrath. Oh, I beg to this. I mean, I don't think that's the Christian argument. I mean, turning the other cheek. What if you have righteous justice not to turn the other cheek? God is infinite justice. Well, no, that's not what they're saying, right? Because he was a man. Like when Jesus went to earth, he became a man. And the idea is that he never sinned, which is true. Like if you look at the Bible and you read the Bible, you do not see Jesus making any sins. Like he doesn't lie, he doesn't steal, he doesn't sleep outside of marriage, right? Like he doesn't commit the act of sin. Except that is the only part where she starts whipping people. Oh, Lord. Jesus wasn't a Christian. That is an interesting observation, right? Like that is actually a philosophical question if Jesus was a Christian or not, because Christianity comes from Christ, right? So Christianity, the religion of Christ. But Christ himself, I mean, he probably doesn't pray to him. Like the religion comes from him, so yeah, like he probably himself wouldn't be a Christian. I don't know. I would actually have to ask a priest about this. This is a very interesting dilemma. Like, is Jesus a Christian? Yeah, he is the Christ, right? So like, if you have a religion of, like for example, if I have a fan club, I personally like if I have the V fan club, I personally wouldn't be a fan of myself. Like you can't consider me to be a fan of myself. The bread and the fish story is an allegory about how ideas, even small, can feed a crowd. It ties with his statement about teachings to fish to give out fish. A useful lesson feeds the multitude. Well, I don't agree with your with your interpretation, because that is considered a miracle, right? Like that is the reason Christianity exists, is because Jesus could make miracles. And if you can say, well, yeah, but like this miracle was actually an allegory, then you can say all the miracles was an allegory, including the resurrection. God is a verb, not a noun. Oh, I see. Jesus was a rabbi. He wasn't the Christ fulfilled till after death. That's interesting. I can't see Jesus going to church to have everyone worship him. I mean, when he was the Son of Man, he didn't have people worship him. Like, he had disciples, and he was more like a teacher. But yeah, like he didn't have people prostrate in front of him. I would say that Buddha isn't a Buddhist. Yes, that's a good point. He prayed to the Father. Yeah, but so do Jewish people. I guess yeah, like that's the correct thing. Like, Jesus was a Jew in both ethnicity and religion. He was a carpenter. I wonder if there's people that can claim they can sell Jesus products. Like, this chair was made by Jesus. If you are talking about God, his miracle can be real, and also allegories to be fair. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the official church interpretation. I think if you ask a priest about whether or not Jesus made an infinite number, sorry, if Jesus found fish and food, or if it was an allegory, the church will say no, no, no. He did a miracle. Was Marx a Marxist? I would say yes. Because if you create an ideology that you believe in, then you're part of that ideology. So, like, if I were to create capitalism, the ideology, I could still be a capitalist even if it's named after me, right? Because, like, the thing is, like, if Marxism would have been named something else, right? So, if Marxism, like for example, right, if Marxism created socialism, uh, which he did it, right? Because like socialism is a bigger ideology which encompasses more thinkers. But like, let's say that Marx himself would have created social instead of Marxism, it would have been called socialism. Then you'd still say that yes, Marx is a socialist. If he was adherent to the ideology, because it's also possible to create an ideology that you don't believe in. Like I can create an entire philosophy for the lulz, but that wouldn't necessarily mean that I ascribe to it. So, as long as Marx believes in Marxism, then he is a Marxist, even if it just happens to have his name. Is Tim Pool a Poolist? I don't know. Does he believe? I guess like the condition is that you generally need to believe in the ideology, right? So, if you don't believe in the ideology, then you're not the ist. I don't know Marx better than you. I was half joking, wanting to learn. I know some of what applied Marxism is today, but not early Marx. Yeah, well, I should actually go to bed. And by the way, early Marx makes more sense than what Marxism is today. Thank you for watching. I will try to go to sleep. Actually, no, I still have some videos to edit. Yeah. But again, thank you for watching. And